Hey legends! Welcome back to Rock Legends Bands, Tours, and History. I'm your host Lydia, and this is Too Proud to Rock, the series where we dive into how the world's biggest bands reinvented themselves when everyone thought they were done. Today's episode? Oh, it's a good one. We're talking the Psychedelic Stones, Citadel, and the Cosmic Years.
It's a truly fascinating chapter, isn't it, Lydia? Because when people think psychedelic rock, they immediately jump to the Beatles, Pink Floyd, or The Doors. And rightfully so, they were pioneers. But the Rolling Stones? They had their own wild and incredibly trippy chapter, full of sitars, mellotrons, and sonic experiments that, honestly, almost blew the band apart.
Absolutely. You know, it's the late 1960s. The world is just exploding into Technicolor. Everyone's talking about flower power, free love, and let's be real, LSD. And the Stones? They're caught right in the middle of this beautiful, chaotic storm, trying to balance their raw rebellion with this new artistic impulse. It's a tightrope walk.
And they embraced it with both hands, didn't they? I mean, let's start with a track that for me, personally, is one of the most underrated from their Satanic Majesty's Request Citadel. That song, it's just something else. Built on this absolutely jagged, almost brutal riff from Keith Richards, it sounds like the walls of a futuristic city are just collapsing in rhythm. It's gritty, distorted, and wonderfully strange. Just the way rock should be, you know?
Totally, and what always gets me is that distinct pinging sound throughout the track. It's this weird metallic ring that almost feels alien. Turns out, it comes from a handheld metal tube waved near the guitar pickup. It's part science experiment, part street fight, and it just adds this incredible, unsettling texture.
It's pure genius, honestly. And lyrically, Citadel is pure dystopia. It was heavily inspired by Fritz Lang's Metropolis, painting a world ruled by control, capitalism, and this kind of blind, unquestioning faith. It's a dark vision for what was supposed to be the summer of love, isn't it?
It really is. And the deeper you dig, the more layers you find. Hidden in those lyrics are names, Candy Darling and Taffy, two of Andy Warhol's legendary muses from the factory. That's how deep the Stones were in the counterculture. They weren't just observing it from a distance, they were living it, breathing it, embedded in its very fabric.
They truly were. And you see that immersion reflected in their output from that period. Take We Love You. It drops right in the summer of love, right? But it sounds absolutely nothing like love in the traditional sense. It starts with this chilling sound of a jail door slamming shut, which, let's be honest, is exactly what had just happened to Mick and Keith during their drug busts.
Oh, the irony. The title sounds like a warm embrace, but the song itself is both a twisted thank you to their supporters and a sarcastic middle finger to the establishment. Fans probably heard peace and love, but what the Stones were really saying was, we survived your ridiculous trial, and guess what? We're not done yet.
Exactly. And Brian Jones's Mellotron just screams across the mix, transforming the whole song into this glorious, unsettling chaos. It's part gospel, part absolute nightmare. You even have Lennon and McCartney on backing vocals, and even their presence can't make it sound friendly or palatable. This wasn't some gentle hippie rock. This was revolution in a velvet jacket, defiant and unapologetic.
What's wild is that around the very same time, they recorded Dandelion, a track that's light, sweet, almost whimsical, and totally opposite in tone. It's like two sides of the same very strange coin, pure sarcasm and then almost sincerity.
And both released in 1967. It just showcases their incredible versatility and willingness to experiment. Dandelion is brilliant in its own weird, charming way, proving they weren't just one note during this period.
Then we get to 2000 Light Years from Home, and that one just takes you on a whole different journey. It truly feels like a trip through outer space with no return ticket. It's expansive, disorienting, brilliant.
It really does. Brian Jones, again, just incredible on the mellotron. But this time, he wasn't imitating strings or brass. He was creating these otherworldly, alien soundscapes that hadn't really been heard before. The lyrics are cosmic, lonely, and profoundly haunting. It's isolation set to music, a kind of existential wandering. Decades later, people would rightly call it proto-space rock. It was so ahead of its time.
It absolutely was. And when you pair that track with She's a Rainbow, you really define the Stones' psychedelic peak. She's a Rainbow is this rare, magical moment where their trippy, experimental side somehow meets pop perfection. It's just so vibrant.
Oh, that piano line from Nicky Hopkins? It's just pure magic, isn't it? And then you have John Paul Jones, yes, that John Paul Jones, future Led Zeppelin member, writing the string arrangement. It adds this lush, colorful, innocent layer. It's catchy, it's dreamy, and honestly, it still holds up as this incredibly vibrant, feel-good track 50 years later.
It's got this timeless quality, but like all good trips, this one eventually had to end. By 1968, the world was changing fast. The psychedelic shimmer started to fade, the hippie dream began to dissipate, and I think, frankly, people's patience for sonic excess was wearing thin.
And the Stones, being the Stones, they felt that shift. They always had their finger on the pulse, and that's when they pulled back with a vengeance. Jumpin' Jack Flashes came out, and it was raw, stripped down, dangerous again. It was a statement the psychedelia was fun, but the rock and roll was still in their bones.
It was a seismic shift, but I'm so glad one last gem slipped through the cracks. Child of the Moon, released as the B-side to Jumpin' Jack Flash. It was their final hazy breath of psychedelia.
It's a beautiful, melancholic track. It sounds hazy, dreamlike, and a little sad, doesn't it? Like the morning after the most incredible, wildest party you've ever been to. It's reflective, a quiet farewell to that era.
Perfect description. This entire era, from the jagged edges of Citadel to the dreamlike fade of Child of the Moon, it was the Stones at their most experimental, their most daring, and in many ways, their most misunderstood. They weren't just jumping on a trend, were they?
Not at all. They were genuinely trying to find themselves, to define their sound in a world that was spinning way too fast. They risked everything, their reputation, their identity, even their friendships within the band, just to see how far rock music could go before it broke apart. And that's what makes their psychedelic years so profoundly fascinating and essential to their story.
It's a testament to their enduring artistry, honestly. They weren't afraid to stumble, to experiment, to evolve. And next week, we'll see what happened when it all crashed back down to earth. We're talking Altamont, chaos, violence, and the brutal, undeniable end of the 60s dream. You absolutely do not want to miss that one.
That's going to be an intense one for sure. The Stones always gave us something to talk about, didn't they?
Always. That's it for this episode of Too Proud to Rock, right here on Rock Legends 2025, where every riff has a story and every legend gets one more encore. If you love this deep dive into the Stones' psychedelic side, please hit subscribe, leave a comment with your favorite trippy Stones song, and share this episode with another rock lover who's never heard Citadel. Until next time, keep your volume high, your mind open, and remember, it's only rock and roll, but we like it.